Hello, it's ShadeX, and the Nintendo 3DS eShop and the Wii U eShop will be defunct in March 2023, and in another shock, payment methods will be disappearing even sooner. This really is unfortunate. Game preservation is very important, and it is a shame Nintendo will no longer let people buy virtual console games for their 3DS family or Wii U consoles. Something similar happened with Sony and their PS3 and PS Vita storefronts, which were planned to end last year. However, after fan outcry, Sony reversed their decision. Unfortunately, I don't think Nintendo will do the same. I don't own a Wii U, but I do own a Nintendo 2DS. It is a great Nintendo console. I honestly don't get the hate the 2DS got, as it is a harmless console. I remember playing it very frequently back in the day. I would take it with me a lot of places. I remember accidentally breaking my red transparent 2DS one day after I dropped it down a flight of stairs at my cousin's house. I ended up getting it repaired for $60 by Nintendo. I remember one time I called them about their progress on repairing my 2DS, and they played Zelda music while they put me on hold. Hello? Can I get an update on my 2DS being repaired?
Hello, it's Roger from Nintendo of America. Your 2DS is being repaired, but I'll have to put you on hold for a bit.
I remember being a bit frustrated inside when I was told my cool transparent red shell could not be replaced on my 2DS, but honestly, I'm just glad it got repaired with my saves intact. Anyway, I bought a few games for my 2DS physically. I remember buying my 2DS in December of 2014 with my Christmas money. I bought it with a copy of Smash 4 3DS. I had a lot of fun with the game. I also got physical copies of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Sun. I also got Link Between Worlds and Animal Crossing New Leaf. New Leaf is way better than New Horizons, and I played 400 plus hours of the newest game, so I should know. That's a story for another video though. While the games will stay with me since I have them physically, the games in the 3DS eShop will disappear unless you purchase them before the eShop shuts its doors. There are a ton of JRPGs that will go up in price physically once the eShop ends. In fact, it's already happening. Sure, a ton of Wii U exclusive games have been ported to the Switch, so there's no worry there, but the 3DS library is a whole different story. The 3DS family of systems has 2 screens, meaning that the Switch cannot utilize them unless the games get proper remakes. Also, there's another thing that I am sad is going away, that being the Virtual Console. Having the ability to buy old games from the NES, SNES, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance libraries was great. However, now Nintendo has no intention to continue the Virtual Console and instead expects people to pay for Switch Online and the expansion to play all these old games. This situation is dumb in my opinion. People are willing to pay Nintendo for individual games, which would definitely sell well in the eShop. In fact, prior to the news of the Wii U and 3DS eShop closing, in 2021 this did happen. After Metroid Dread got announced, Wii U owners bought Metroid games, and they skyrocketed to the top charts. There are people out there who want to own digital copies of retro games, but Nintendo's idea of what consumers want is them being locked behind a paywall. This paywall will eventually become pointless if the Nintendo Switch Online service ends, which the games will likely disappear along with. So yeah, the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U eShops are going away next year, meaning that you won't be able to play Game Boy games until they are inevitably drip-fed to us via the Nintendo Switch Online service. There are likely plans for Game Boy games in the future, but they will likely require an expansion pack subscription. Also, people are still waiting for Nintendo GameCube emulation. The Switch can handle those games clearly, as Super Mario 3D All-Stars has Super Mario Sunshine in it. Besides stuff that can run properly on the Switch, who knows how the DS or 3DS will be emulated officially by Nintendo. The Wii U and 3DS had 2 screens, so it makes sense that DS games could run on that, and while the Switch does have a touchscreen, I don't know if the games will make it to Switch Online. Game preservation is very important. What's sad is even Nintendo seems not to care in this now deleted frequently asked questions answer, where they say that their Nintendo Switch Online subscription service is the only way they plan on offering their classic games going forward. Don't get me wrong, I do have Switch Online and I might get the expansion pack once more things get offered. However, unless Nintendo plans to keep the Switch servers up, those games will be gone yet again, and Nintendo will expect us to pay for the next console and its online service to continue playing them. Anyway, I know what you're thinking. How long do we have to buy these games? Well, if you add funds via credit or debit card before May 23rd, 2022, or redeem a ton of eShop cards by August 29th, 2022, you'll be able to buy the games you want off of there until March of 2023. Sure, game codes will still work if you get one off Amazon, so you can redeem that until March 2023. Sadly though, you will no longer have the option to directly purchase games off the eShop this year if you run out of funds after August 29th. This situation overall sucks, especially since Nintendo is cutting off payment methods a year before the Wii U and 3DS eShops get shut down. Now I want to briefly compare the Switch and 3DS eShops. The Switch eShop, while not looking terrible, lacks a ton of charm, which has to do with one thing: its lack of music. I remember the 3DS eShop having a lot of charm to it. It would change its music whenever a new game came out. I remember that happened when Majora's Mask 3D came out. Whenever the eShop did fun things like that, it felt like an event. Even now, the 3DS eShop still has music. Sure, new game releases are gone, so the music won't change, but the regular eShop music is still charming regardless. We'll definitely miss the 3DS eShop, but it surely won't be forgotten. The shop offered a ton of classic titles for a low price, which I really missed, which included classic Game Boy and Game Boy Color Pokemon games. Anyway, now it's fair to show off my Nintendo 2DS, which has a virtual console version of Mother 3. Are you wondering how I got that? Well, did you know there was a Nintendo 2DS ambassador program that offered Mother 3 as a bonus? Nah, I'm joking. What really happened was I went online and hacked my 2DS. With the eShop gone in the near future and these games either being in purgatory or locked behind a monthly paywall once March 2023 comes around, that will be the way to play 3DS going forward. Home do what Nintendo don't. 2DS consoles are real cheap on eBay compared to other models, so I suggest getting a hold of one if you don't care about the 3D effect the 3DS has. Anyway, I will not give you instructions on how to hack as it's complicated, but there are a ton of methods to do it if you look online. So if you don't have the money to buy these games or miss the deadline to put payment info in the eShop, just know there are other ways to get these games. Anyway, if you hack your 3DS, you will pretty much be able to play every Game Boy Advance game out there. You will need an injector software on your PC to turn some of the games into a CEIA file, but honestly, it's worth looking into. There's also a site that you can pretty much get everything from the eShop. Shop. Yeah, if you want to play 3DS games on their original hardware, and by 2023, copies of niche RPGs skyrocket in price, just know that if you take the time, you can hack your own portable console. Looks like I got a phone call.
Hello, it's Roger from Nintendo, and I have an offer for you. Since you're talking about 3DS hacking, us and Nintendo want to gift you something. It's the Nintendo Cease and Desist Classic. We got another sucker.
Okay, forget what I said, guys. Buy Nintendo Switch Online along with the expansion pass to be drip-fed NES, SNES, and N64 games, and just hope that Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games get added in the future. Anyway, it really sucks the Nintendo 3DS eShop is going away along with the Wii U one. I know people are surprised that people are missing the Wii U eShop, but it offered a lot of Game Boy Advance games. It offered HD remakes of the Legend of Zelda games. There were good games on the Wii U. There were a lot of great Virtual Console games on the Wii U. I know people will say, oh, why do people suddenly care about the Wii U? Because the Wii U, while not great, had good eShop games. Anyway, the eShops will never be forgotten. This has been ShadeX, and I hope you all feel nothing but good vibes.
We're under the